different backgrounds, and our backgrounds play a key role in how we learn. And it is important you hear from people who have gone through similar situations, and then you learn from them. And today we have Sarah here. So she's going to tell us a little bit about herself and probably the high school she attended, the university she attended, the program she read in university, maybe the high school as well, and the exact hall. I mean, if she wants to share the hall she stayed in, and some important things about her university environment. I mean, just to share that. So, Sarah, you are welcome. Just tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay. Thank you very much for the pleasure of joining your distinguished and esteemed platform, Mr. Meko. So my name is Sarah Whitney Akosika Lagley. I'm 23 years of age and currently pursuing a Master of Public Administration at Auburn University in the USA. I attended Achimota School where I pursued general science. Yeah, I know it sounds a bit surprising that I have a science background and then I diverted into public administration. So, way back when I was in GHS, I was an all round student and I felt I could go into the field of science very easily. But that was not the case. And along the line, I had to divert. And I'd say it's been one of the best decisions I have ever taken. So, upon finishing my secondary school at Achimota, I moved on to the University of Ghana to pursue a diploma in public administration in the year 2018, which I did for 2 years, excelled with a final GPA of 3.88, and then I did my national service right after that. And during the national service, I had the opportunity to interact with some of the lecturers, faculty, and it had been a wonderful experience. Through my time as a national service personnel, I learned a lot from them. I learned a lot, and it made me even have a more specialized passion for the field of public administration. You know, prior to my national service, I just knew I did a diploma in public administration, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to specialize in or exactly what field or profession I wanted to go into. But upon my tenure during the national service, I could see that I would really have a passion for academia, research, or going into lecturing in relation to the field of public admin. So I did my national service from the year 2020 to the year 2021, and then applied for a top up. That was level 300 to just complete my bachelor's. So quite fortunately, when I applied for the top up, I got admitted into level 300 main campus and then just did my level 300 and 400 in the years 2021 to 2022 and 2022 to 2023. And then I graduated with a first class honors from the University of Ghana Business School with a final GPA of 3.88 as well. I don't know why I keep getting 3.88,
I've been
but
all over
yeah,
3.88.
yes, I had 3.88 2 times. And it's been a very like wonderful experience in my opinion. During the time of my top up in level 400, I chose the option of taking a long essay. And it was like a roller coaster of emotions. It was not easy and all, but I mean, it was very, very, very helpful. And I had Dr. Daniel Lapia as my long essay supervisor, and he's one of the best lecturers ever, like one of the best. So through the opportunity of um, doing my long essay in final year, through Dr. Apia, I got to hear about Auburn University, where I currently am. And then I submitted excerpts of my long essay to the graduate program director for the public administration, PhD and masters. And
Okay.
that was how I began my study abroad journey. And I'm here today.
Wow, interesting. Interesting. I mean that you have a long journey. I mean, it's not everybody that starts like that and then is where you are today. I mean, the fact that you I don't know, but I see a lot of Achimota students. I think Achimota They don't. You guys don't read business. You don't have business.
No,
Yeah,
we don't
but
read business.
at the business school, University of Ghana, I see a lot of Achimota students. I'm asking, but you guys didn't read business in your high school and you are here. But that that notwithstanding, I mean, you see a lot of these students who don't have business background coming to business school, University of Ghana, or any other business school, and they excel very well.
Oh, yes.
I mean,
Yes.
they do very well. People who read science or read science, I mean, with different background, different understanding, but all of a sudden they join a business class. They begin to do debit and credit and all around balancing equations, cash book and all those things, petty cash and all those. And I'm like, wow, this is interesting. Sometimes it makes me feel that whatever you put your hands on to do, you can really do it and do it well. Yeah, but I mean, quite interesting. So you did diploma first, and then you later came back to do a degree, a top up. I mean, that is good to know because a lot of people might finish the diploma and that might be the end. So it tells us that there's a progression as far as you are interested in, I mean, pursuing your dream. But one very important thing before we move on, I remember you had an award. You had an award
Yes, I did.
I mean, people from University of Ghana will know about Great Hall. You got an award from the Great Hall. Yeah, maybe you can share some bit about that. What was that award about?
Okay, so that award ceremony that I happened to attend was in recognition of outstanding performance during the 2021-2022 academic year. So it means that that was during my third year, right? Third year of my university studies.
Okay.
And so I received an email from the Public Affairs
Mm,
Directorate and the Student Scholarship Services also talking about an award ceremony and the requirements to apply for it and the nomination categories and all that. So part of the requirement was to write an application letter, submit some transcripts here and there, and all that. And then I was like, okay, let me apply and let's see how it turns out. So by God's grace, when I applied, I was selected to be part of the nominees and recipients, award recipients. And the category I fell under was an endowment fund from Sadhu Vaswani, that's the Indian Association of Ghana. So there
okay.
were some private associations that were giving out endowment funds to some of the award winners, and I was part of it. But the overall award ceremony was the Vice Chancellor's award ceremony,
Okay.
recognition of 2021-2022 academic, outstanding academic achievers. Yeah.
Oh, great. That's good. I mean, yeah, it's good to. I remember I was at that same award ceremony, and I saw a lot of people, familiar faces, and I was excited. Yeah, this is to student University of Ghana. You don't only need to complete before you get an award from the vice chancellor. There are semester-based awards that are given, academic year award-based that are given, and you'll be surprised you'll be recognized and you get a good. Yeah, I'm sure there was a cash prize that was given to you. Yeah.
Yes, 1,000 CDs. And back then,
Oh,
1,000 CDs was a lot.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
thousand cities, you can go and eat Davis gobe like the whole of the month. That would be enough to eat Davis gobe.
Yeah, 1,000 CDs was a lot back then. I mean, to apply for something and then at least earn a recognition. And
Yeah.
in addition to the 1,000 CDs, I also received a certificate signed by the Vice Chancellor herself.
Oh, great.
Yes, so it was, I mean, it's something that you guys should go in for if you have the
Yeah.
chance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. So yeah, University of Ghana student, don't forget. I believe it's not only University of Ghana, a lot of universities across the world also have some of these support that they give students in terms of recognition. Yeah, I mean, straight to faculty. Faculties are also recognized. I mean, administrative staffs are also recognized, giving a lot of things along the line. So yeah, don't hesitate. Just put in a try. Who knows? Yeah. So on campus, let me just take you on this. Which hall were you residing in University of Ghana?
Okay, so during my first and second year in the university, that was obviously during my diploma period,
Okay.
I was unable to secure accommodation on campus. So
So,
I
so
was staying
wait.
in
So
a
were you pitching?
no, no, no. I was staying in a private hostel at Hacho
Okay.
during my first and second year. So I was off campus. Yeah, so that's where I was residing up until the end of my national service. So if you
Okay.
ask Auntie Mary, during my national service period, I used to move from Hacho to UGBS every day.
Wow.
Yeah, so when I started doing the top up, I secured an accommodation at Jane Nelson Hall,
Okay.
and that's where I was till the end of my bachelor's.
Yeah. So you were not in any of the traditional halls. As for Jane Nelson, it's actually for the DBs. We like the traditional hall. You see, if you don't
Okay.
if you don't stay in the Kwafo, you don't stay in Saba, you don't stay in Legon Hall, maybe Volta Hall, Commonwealth. Like those are the main traditional places to live
The
in.
main traditional halls. Okay, so the thing is, I've had a bit of experience with the traditional halls because during my long essay period, we were not allowed to stay at diaspora because we were doing renovation for the All African Games.
Yeah.
And so I was able to secure a place at Legon Hall for a few months in order to finish up my long essay.
Yeah, surprisingly, I remember the time I came to University of Ghana, I was in the Kwafo Hall, yeah, I was in the Kwafo Hall and Gonja block, yeah, the popular block. So I remember I was like, this is the university. When I was coming, I brought my bucket, I wrote my name on my bucket, I wrote my name on my things. I mean, the kind of high school mentality. I mean, wrote my name on the things and just came to put it down. I went out. By the time I came, my bucket is not in the room. Now I started going room to room looking for my bucket. Like, where's my bucket? Where's my bucket? I mean, the whole thinking of SS life where what you brought belongs to you. But in most of these traditional halls, you live like a community. I mean, by the time you are done cooking your rice, somebody is waiting to take your rice cooker to go and cook rice also. I mean, it's kind of yeah, and people can just enter a room and I mean strike a conversation. But in the private hostels, you live like kind of independent life. Your roommate, all those things. But that is why I'm saying that if you come to University of Ghana or any of the universities in Africa, try and go to a traditional hall. At least affiliate yourself to one, and you will like it.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
true. I enjoyed my time at Legon Hall. I really
yes,
did.
great. So yeah, real quick, where were you learning on campus? Which places were you learning on campus? I mean,
Okay, so this is a very interesting question because quite frankly, I'm not someone who used to be found at the library a lot.
okay.
Yes. So with my style of learning, I prefer being in like a comfortable space where I know that it's not highly regulated and all that. Like I just like being in a comfortable space where I'm just free and all that. So I mostly learned in my room or in the study room of my hall.
Okay.
I was not really a library person. So sometimes I remember my friends would call me, Sarah, let's go to the library and learn. And I'm like, oh, I'm not really the library type. I'm not the library type. Yes.
Yeah.
So I think I have with the BAM library, I don't think I've studied in the BAM library for up to 5 times throughout my university study. Like I've always been someone who prefers learning in the comfort of my room.
Yeah.
Yes, and I mean, everyone's learning style is distinct to him or her.
That's true.
So it's just something that I discovered that this was how comfortable I felt with regards to my learning style. Whenever I went to a library or a highly coordinated place, I ended up feeling sleepy. And that's the truth. Yeah, I ended up feeling sleepy. That's why I realized that studying in my room or in the study room was much better for me. And same applies here at Auburn University. We have a huge library, Dorton Library. You can look it up on Google. Very huge library with a lot of resources and all that. But I still don't study there. I have my own small study room here at my apartment where I do most of my learning.
Yeah, great. The library system might not work for everybody. And I like the fact that you mentioned that you got to know who you are, you got to know yourself. got to know your learning styles, and then you realize that no, the structured environment might not work for you. I mean, I'm one person that I can't learn at one place for long. So probably I want to go to BAM library and do 1 hour or 2 hour. By the time you see me, I'm taking my bag, I'm going to a different place. Because the more I get to familiarize with the environment, it makes it difficult for me to kind of assimilate whatever is I'm doing. So I want to move. So the very important point you made is that trying to know yourself and know what works for you. Yeah, and so let me ask you, if you meet someone who asks you right now, like I'm going to ask you, what is learning? How do you learn? I mean, what do you really say? How do you learn? So for you being from Achimota, coming to University of Ghana, and I believe a lot of students at Achimota want to come to University of Ghana. So you came to University of Ghana. How was the learning? How did you learn? I mean, what actually was learning for you? How were you able to manage the time to learn? Then we'll later come back to you, how you were preparing for your exams, and then how you're able to do your assignment along the line. Because I know that it can get very busy along the semester when you have a lot of readings to do, assignment to do, group work to do. How were you able to manage that? But first of all, share with us, how did you learn?
Okay. So, um, I think from childhood, I've always had this sort of photographic memory. And so, one way that I usually learn is by creating acronyms. If I
Okay.
want to remember some points,
Mm,
so, for example, if I'm supposed to learn maybe features of something, right? And then I go through my material, my reading material, I look at the points. I end up creating acronyms to remember those points with the explanation. Yes, I'll read around it and all that, but I won't end up memorizing the explanations. What I
okay.
end up memorizing are the points. And in order to understand the points, I know I can explain very well. And also, with regards to learning, I think everyone and what works for him or her.
Yeah.
There are some people that are very good at capturing everything word for word. Like if you ask them, memorize this page in the textbook to me, I mean, they can recollect every single word. But I am not that type of person. So I just capture the important parts of the text and then make sure that I really understand whatever the points are about so that I can explain them well. So I take a lot of notes in class. My friends who have known me since University of Ghana know that I write a lot. Even when the slides are going to be provided, I still write, even though some of the stuff are being repeated in the slides.
Yeah.
I do this because it helps me grasp a better understanding and helps me, remember whatever I put down. So I'm always writing something. Like when I'm at lectures, I'm always writing something. So I would say it's one thing that has also helped me a lot. It reduces the pressure on me by the time it gets to examinations because I already grabbed an understanding of the material from the beginning of the semester. And
Yeah.
so when it's getting closer to exams, it's just a matter of revision,
Mm.
you know, getting the main points, the topic sentences in whatever we were taught, and that's it.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you try to form kind of acronyms. So yeah, so how well, for the purposes of our discussion, our viewers will want to know. Yeah, so you go to a class and then your lecturer is done teaching, you have notes, you have given reading materials. What do you do? Like, what do you do? Do you just go straight to the library and just start forming acronyms? I mean, how do you do it? Because the how of a lot of people do things in our part of the world in Africa, and they can't really tell us how. Because
Okay.
I mean, for you meet someone today who is rich, and you ask, "Hey, how were you able to amass this wealth?" It's like it's not easy. It's not easy. But we want to know how, so that we can also learn and follow. So tell us. So on a normal day, you go to class. Dr. Pierre is done teaching in class. I mean,
Yes.
with a lot of notes, reading materials. What do you do? Do you just go to the reading room? Do you just go to the library or your hall? Or, I mean, or you close the note and wait when exam is coming, then you now pick it and start forming acronym? Or immediately? We want to understand the how so that we can also learn from it. Yeah.
Okay, so with regards to that, as I mentioned, when I'm in class, I make the use, like the most use of that opportunity to understand what is being taught,
Okay.
put my notes down. So what I do is that after the class ends, I go into my own space, try to reflect on what has been taught for the day. So it can stick in my memory for a long term. So it's not necessarily about like, memorizing word for word, but I just try to reflect to understand the concept, the practical applications. And practical examples help a lot
Okay.
because sometimes what we are taught in class is theoretical, it's abstract. Sometimes it's very good to link the material to practical situations, to practical applications. And it's also something that's helped me a lot. So
Okay.
as I reflect on the material, I look for practical examples, you
Yeah.
know. Oh, so for example, maybe we were taught about public value theory. So I go, public value theory, what is public value theory? Dr. Pierre has already explained to us in class. Then I go home, look for practical examples, YouTube videos, and all that, just to reflect on what the material is. So when it's, getting closer to examination period, what I do is
Okay.
a revision of what has been taught. Yeah, so that's how I go about it.
Yeah, great. I mean, good to know that it's about revision. Yeah, I mean, we also have some group of students who go to class, make their notes. When they are done, they fold the notes, put it at the back of their pocket, go to their hostels. When the exam is coming, when they get the note back, they are now thinking, what did I write? Is it there? Is it two? Like they are now thinking what actually they've written. So I like the whole idea that immediately after the class, you spend time to reflect on the discussion in class. And you know the way the psychologists will tell you the way the mind works between the short-term memory and long-term memory. Just after class, when you reflect over it again, it places some emphasis on the knowledge in your short memory. So it can actually move from short memory to a long memory because um, it has reoccurred in your mind. There's some level of emphasis on it. Then next time when you are now revising it, yeah, you can recognize it. The schemas you form in your mind can be recognized by your mind because it's something you have done already. So that's very important. So yeah, how were you also preparing for exam? You just mentioned that you were revising. So let's assume that the examination is coming. What do you do? How do you prepare for the exam? Do you read past questions? Do you go for group discussions? Do you do personal studies? Do you go over your notes? What do you do to prepare for the exams?
Okay, in preparing for examinations, first of all, I revise my notes. I also engage in, group discussions sometimes, but not as much as going over my own personal time. I feel I grasp the material more or have a better understanding when I'm alone reflecting on the material.
Okay.
And I also go over past questions a lot as well. It's also one thing that really helped me. So, for those of you still in the University of Ghana, the BAM Library has an online past questions and answers website, which is very helpful. All you
Okay.
need is your student ID and password in order to have access to it. And you can have, access to some past questions set by lecturers, at least to know the style or trend of questions, what they like asking or how they like asking their questions and all that. But it does not mean that you should depend solely on the past questions, because if not, you encounter something like apostle.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
it,
that's
it
that's
can
true.
swerve you. You may think these questions are going to come, but
Yeah.
they don't end up showing up. You just want to have access to the past questions in order to just see the style or the trend of questions. So, for example, one lecturer may like list and explain type of questions.
Okay.
Another lecturer may prefer case studies, presenting a case study and you divulging the information or the theories out of it. So the past questions just help you know the trend or what the lecturer may expect of you. You understand? So
Yeah.
that's how helpful it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, in that same direction, are you the last minute? person. Last hour, I mean, that's the right word. Are you the last hour person? Because there are some students who want to wait last hour and all. Are you the last hour person?
No, I am not. My friends from back home know that I'm not a last hour person. They see me reading at certain times and they're like, exams isn't even close. Why are you doing why are you learning by this or why are you doing this by this time? So I haven't really been the person to be comfortable staying up all night a day before my paper. It does not make me comfortable at all because I feel my mind is stressed out. I find it difficult to recollect whatever I have learned. And
Yeah.
so I learn ahead of time so that by the time it's 2 nights to my exam or a night to my exam, I can sleep comfortably. So my friends come, they see me sleeping, a night before the paper, I'm sleeping, and they're like, "What you learn? Like,
I mean,
you want to learn?"
it's surprising. On the other hand, some of us will hold the book and get closer to the exam center. Then we are still looking at it. Then we just want to hear that they've opened the door. Then you
I
drop it. You,
understand.
you drop it somewhere. I mean, the whole idea is that we are all different. Different. What works for me might not
Yeah,
work for you.
yeah,
But it's important that you
yeah.
get to know what works for other people. So in case you want to readjust, you can. I mean, better adjust. Yeah. So back to the journey to the United States of America. Yeah. So how was the journey? I mean, moving from this kind of learning environment in University of Ghana, getting to the United States of America, where the culture is different, the environment is different, the way of learning is different. But anyway, let me ask: is the way you were taught in Ghana the same in America, where you are now?
So there's a difference.
Was there a shock?
Um,
Was there a shock?
yes, there was a shock. Actually, there was a
Okay.
shock. I mean, we are still being shocked.
Okay.
We are still being shocked because it was much different from how it was back in Ghana. I mean, the insights were there. One common thing I found between University of Ghana lecturers and lecturers over here is that the insights is there. I
Okay.
mean, they know what they are talking about, the theories, the scholars, public administration and the numerous scholars and theories and all that. I found this common feature, but the learning style is what is different from what is back home.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so Sarah, there's a question for you before we go on. There's a question for you.
Okay.
Someone is asking that apart from academics, were you involved in other activities like being part of groups, associations, campus ministry, and others? Were you involved in any other, activities?
Activities. Okay. So if the person can hear me or if the person can see me personally, one thing that I did was that when I was in the University of Ghana, I wasn't part of associations and groups. I wasn't.
Hey, really?
Yes, I was not. I'll be honest with you. Back in SHS, I joined a lot of clubs, a whole lot of clubs. I was in so many clubs because I wanted to, be multitasking and get certificates from this club, and that club, and all that. But I realized it was eating into my learning time.
Okay.
And that was why when I went to the University of Ghana, I did not indulge myself in so many activities. I was not part of clubs and associations. And the highest I did was course representative work. That was it.
Yeah, I mean, cause rep is also one of the activities. But I know you are a content creator also. That is an extracurricular activity. So you can talk about that. I mean, I know you are a social media influencer. I know on IG you are a top
Please,
pro
I'm not
over there.
top. I'm not
Yeah, I
top.
mean, so you can
I'm
share
not
that also so that it make it,
okay.
it make the equation balance that
Balance and all
you
that.
had time
Okay.
for extra things. You were not just book. Yeah, because I know
Book,
you
book.
do a lot of
Yeah.
social media stuff. So yeah.
Okay. So, I developed an interest in photography and modeling along the line as well. Initially, I wanted to go into photography, but I eventually developed an interest in modeling for brands, advertising for them, and all that. So
Yeah.
that was how I began going into that. And then it got to a point in my life where I was being paid to advertise, clothing, makeup, wigs, and all that for other brands back in Ghana and also, yes, I had to balance that with my academics as well. And
Okay.
as I said, I made sure that I had to make time for my studies no matter what. Even if it meant canceling a photo shoot or a booking or something just for my academics. I
Okay.
had to do that because academics was always my priority
Mm.
and the field I really wanted to go into. And then another reason why I also went into modeling and content creation and all that was also for like the monetary aspects. I had to support myself
Mm.
because I lost my dad during my national service period, and he was like my main financial support and everything. So I had to find ways and means to support myself in terms of, upkeep and all that.
Yeah.
So the endowment fund helped, but
Mhm.
I also had to like also work in order to have some pocket cash on me and all that. So
Yeah,
I
someone
just had
someone just want to know how did you combine love life with academics? So yeah,
oh my god.
probably the person who want to know when you were in University of Ghana, were you in a relationship, and how, if you were in one, how were you able to manage that with academics?
Okay. With love life, well, I was not actively in a
I
relationship.
mean, you are it's you are supposed, if you are okay to share, why not? I mean, at your
Oh, I
discretion.
understand. I understand. So I wasn't I wouldn't say much on love life because it was not really like an interference into my activities or anything. Like I wasn't actively, in a relationship during that period. So yeah, as simple as that.
So nobody broke your heart. You didn't break anybody's heart.
no, no,
No,
no worries.
that's fine. So yeah, so back to the journey to I mean the different environment, because I
yes.
really want our viewers and followers to understand. So for example, how is the environment here structured? How is the classroom population? I mean, is this the same back in Ghana, or how our African environments are, where you have, maybe you can go to a class, undergraduate class of about 200, or you go to even a graduate class, some can have about 50 or maybe 20, because business school, our weekend students are a lot. I mean, you go to class and there's a huge number in class, sometimes 40, 70 in one class, and one instructor for the whole period. Is that how it is over here for you? And then how was the shock getting to know that, wow, the environments are different, resources are there, the books are there, the library is there. Like, how was it?
Okay. So, with regards to the number,
Mm,
back in Ghana, the classrooms are much more highly populated as
mm,
compared to back here in the US.
mm,
So, for the undergraduate classrooms, I think they are averagely 40 or 50 per
mm.
class, and then much smaller with the graduate classrooms. So, in
Okay.
my class, for instance, I do not think we are up to 20. I don't
Mm,
know the exact number of students in my class, but we are quite few when it
mm.
comes to the graduate levels. So as compared to Ghana, we are fewer.
And
Yeah.
I think let me also make this clear to our viewers, because some people will be
Okay.
surprised. Why is that? I don't know the exact number of people in your class. So, I mean, you realize that over here, you go to one part, so you are in the same program. People are taking different courses. So you go to
Exactly.
one class, you can be 10, the other class you can be 4. You can even be alone in that one particular class. So you might not know the exact number of people in that
Exactly.
program. But averagely, you could see from what you are saying, the number is less. Okay, so what about instruction? How is instruction? Is it a form of a lecture method? Is it a form of the lecturer come to class and feel that, no, you guys don't know anything, so this is a material, just stay, go and chew and come and pour for me? How is it? Or is it a form of discussion, deliberation, reading of material? How is it?
Okay. So one thing I can tell you guys is that you should know that out here you have to do a lot of reading.
Mm,
The lecturer doesn't come and spoon feed you in class just like that. You have to have prior reading knowledge about the topics that are to be taught. So, for example, in my program, what the lecturers do is that they give us the topics. So, they have the outline for the whole semester. And every week, you're supposed to read the material and
mhm,
then post discussion, contributions on Canvas. So,
mhm.
as we had Sakai in the University of Ghana, over here we use Canvas. That's
Okay,
our online learning management platform. So
okay.
you have to read a lot. And lectures are mostly discussion based, and if you do not have prior knowledge about the topics, you are going to be found wanting. You are
Okay.
going to seem clueless and everything as your colleagues are contributing and speaking, and you're just there silently. You are going to feel left out. And then
Yeah.
another thing that they really value here are presentations. So if you are
Okay.
someone who has always hidden behind your group members when it comes to presentations, over here you should know that you're going to have individual presentations in class. So you have to
Hmm.
boost your self-confidence, your public speaking skills and all that. Yes. So
Wow.
when I got here, I had to, in fact, I was the first person in class to present in one of
Hmm.
my courses. Like imagine me and you be so you have to, yeah, you have
Great,
to.
great. Talking about representation, individual representation, reminds me of how then popular large classes like political science. I mean, Professor Jampo's class, and the number is huge. And I remember some kind of presentation in some of the courses. Then people will be hiding at the back. So you go and then because you were not at the group discussion to prepare the slides, so you go and hide at the back. Then the lecturer will say, "No, I want the one at the back to come and do the presentation." I mean, sometimes it gets embarrassing because you didn't take part. But over here,
Yes, so you guys should be presenting. I mean,
yeah,
work on your presentations. It will really help you. It will really, really help you.
yeah. There's
Yes.
one question in for you. If someone is already in a relationship, what will you advise a person in combining learning with the relationship life?
Oh my God. Why not the relationship question? Okay. So when it comes to relationships, well, I mean, it's all about mutual understanding, right? I mean, you should understand each other. And if learning is your priority or your goal, you guys should like just, communicate with each other. Know that, oh, you will still want to make it at the end. So you guys should still prioritize your learning. And also make sure that maybe your partner sides with your goals and aspirations, because that's going to be very important, so for me, for instance, the person I'm currently seeing understands that I would want to do a PhD. I would want to go into academia. And he didn't stop me like from, pursuing my goals and aspirations. So I think that kind of mutual understanding and
Okay.
communication is very, very important.
Great, sure. And again, I just also want to add my voice that, I mean, whatever you were sent to school to learn, first of all, that is why your parents or our parents sent us to school. So if you think that a particular relationship can affect your learning, I mean, the main goal of you going to school, then it's not worth chasing. I mean, yeah, you at the end of the day, you'll be done with school, and there's more life after school. So you definitely have to find a balance. You don't exchange your learning times for relationship conversations, or you can make extra time for some of those things, but don't try to major the minors and also minor the majors. The major for you being in school is for you to do well, excel, learn, and become a better person. I mean, and life become easy rather than focusing on really. I know people who might choose not to go to class because they have time to meet their partners, as you mentioned, or boyfriends or girlfriends. But that is not the main reason why you are in the classroom. So major the majors and minor the minors. There's more time after school. Yeah. And someone is also asking, so what course are you reading? Are you currently pursuing, and what motivated you into that course?
Okay, so I'm currently pursuing a Master of Public Administration at Auburn University. And I already have a background with a diploma in public administration and then the Bachelor of Science in Administration, where I majored in public administration. So, right from my background, I've had the motivation for public administration from the onset. But
Okay.
the thing is that with me doing a diploma in public administration, it was not really like pre-planned or expected. I just
Okay.
happened to end up getting that program and then I just went for it and I ended up falling in love with the program. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, during my national service period, that was when I actually got like really specialized with it, knowing what I want to do with it. And with regards to me wanting to go into the field of academia, do my PhD and be a lecturer, I've realized that I've always been good at teaching my colleagues or other people when it
Yeah.
came to group discussions and all that. And people used to approach me back in school a lot, like to explain stuff to them. So I was thinking, okay, I mean, maybe lecturing can be something that I'll be good at. So why don't I consider? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just talking about the different background you have leading to public administration. I think our viewers and followers should just understand that. See, you might not get the path from day one. So, back in high school, I read business, and when I was coming to University of Ghana, I read political science, Chinese, and linguistics. I ended up completing with political science and linguistics. I ended up doing a Master of Education, University of Ghana, MA in Education. Ended up doing MA in Master of Philosophy in Education also. I mean, so the dynamics can change along the line. You see, so you don't really need to be hard on yourself. Rather, take the opportunity and explore more. The interest will come along the line as you learn and as you are open up to suggestions from other people. So that is really good. Yeah. So back to, I mean, the experience here. What about the resources, the infrastructure? How is it? I mean, were you surprised to see that? You see, the way we see University of Ghana, the best university in Ghana, like the premier university. Nobody can argue this with us. I mean, that is our pride. And you get to here, you get to America. How did you see? Was it a shock that your best university, like, how did you see? What was the difference?
Okay, so I agree. University of Ghana is the best in Ghana because we really had a lot of resources.
In fact, you don't have to agree. Like, you don't have to agree.
Yes, but I mean, out here they are much more equipped as compared to back home. You see stable internet connections everywhere. You know, they are advanced when it comes to technology. They don't have breakages with their network. They don't have disruptions. They have like activity rooms. They have rooms for group discussions. They have rooms for video conferences. And the campus was like one really shocking thing to me because back from high school, Achimota had one of the biggest campuses when it came to secondary schools. And the University of Ghana campus was like also very huge. But here, when I saw how vast the campus was, I was really surprised and how they positioned everything for the various disciplines and all
Yeah.
that. I mean, when it comes to resources, they are very endowed, very, very endowed. And they've even been discussing and breaking down their political science department to rebuild. But even the one that they want to break down, if you see the building that they are saying is old.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that's quite interesting. So someone is asking that, what will you say overall? Will you say learning in the United States has been a better experience than learning in Ghana?
This question is dicey. Well, I wouldn't say learning here is better than in Ghana because it's learning in Ghana that gave me the foundation to be able to get here. And let me tell you one thing, UGBS lecturers are very good. Like I give them their flowers. UGBS lecturers are very, very knowledgeable, very resourceful because when it comes to the theories, the scholars, as I mentioned, public administration, we have a lot of theory scholars and all
Yeah.
that in public administration and political science. When I got here, it was more like a build up or a repetition. I kept, hearing some of these same scholars that I learned about back in University of Ghana, and it made learning here like quite easier for me. So I wouldn't say here is better than there. I would say they are both good, but they just nurture you in various aspects of your life. So I needed University of Ghana for the foundation, and
Okay.
then this is just a build up on that.
Yeah,
Yes.
great. I mean, I don't always feel happy when people just want to downplay on our foundations because sometimes you realize that it's a foundation that has given you a certain level of resilience to be able to So yeah, so you my school in Ghana, and then growing up in basic school, you didn't have computer and all those things to use to learn. SS high school, we're not using computer to learn. You don't have a personal laptop. You get to university before you start using laptop for assignment, and you come to America, they might be using it from their childhood, but the level of resilience you've built through your experience in Ghana or in the university you've attended before can make you combat the system here. Like so,
Yes. Yes.
that kind of eagerness to learn, that kind of
Yes.
capacity you have built will put you like you even be more or less competing with them or at the same pace with them.
Yes. I
Yeah.
would like to add something to that point. So when I got here,
Mm,
you know, we had the outline for the presentations and I was
mm,
first to present. Knowing I was an international student, I didn't have any experience with the learning system and all that. I would have, shaken and ended up fumbling my words. But the confidence that University of Ghana gave me with regards to presentations, how I was able to put myself out there, how I was able to explain the materials,
mm.
connect the theories and everything. I mean, even some of my colleagues, a white person, came, approached me and told me that I really did so well and she doesn't know how to compete with that. Yes, I mean, our
Yeah.
schools back home
Mm,
are very resourceful. So
yeah.
never downplay the University of Ghana or your school back in Ghana because they are really doing a great job. Another
Mm,
thing I noticed was that with regards to contribution in class, discussions,
mm,
you see the African students being like very quick, they don't waste
mm,
time. So our foundations are very good, I won't
yeah.
lie. Yes.
The only way I want to, the only divergent way I want to state is that, because of the way we're brought up, growing up, sometimes there can be some kind of fear in you. I mean, when your mother talk, you don't talk back. When your father talk, you don't talk back. When your lecturer talk, you don't talk back. Sometimes it make us a little timid. But when you gather courage and that confidence through the level of resilience you build throughout your schooling in Ghana or anywhere, and you meet these people on a panel discussion or in class, and you're able to talk, like it makes life easy for yourself. So for me, I mean, we can't downplay on the background we have built from wherever we're coming from. They are very important, and then that's what help us to be outstanding in all. I mean, people leave Africa and go to Europe and America, other part of the world, and they become very good, very they do exploits. So we can't downplay that. Yeah. Great. Yeah. So back to the experience here, and what about issue of grading? I'm sure. Yeah, you are still in the beginning of the semester. So I mean, I'm sure you are in the seventh or eighth week already, and grading has not started. But by now, you have seen the grading system and know how assessment is going to be. What do you think, as
Yes.
compared to what we have from our background?
Okay. So with regards to the grading system, over here it's more of a cumulative thing.
Mm,
Back in Ghana, where we have maybe mid semester exams or IA, and
mm,
then end of semester exams, and maybe some group works here and there, that contributes to your total marks. Over
yeah.
here, it's different. Over
Mm,
here, every week counts. So,
okay.
one thing I'd like you guys to know before coming here is that you should adopt the love for reading because
But
you're
but
going to need
but
it.
but sir, it looked like you are advising everybody to come. Like, do you want all of us to leave Ghana?
No, I'm just saying for those interested in coming,
Okay,
I'm
okay.
giving advice. Those for those interested in coming, like I know some would want to stay behind, but for those who are interested in coming,
Mm,
please adopt the love for reading because it's going to help you. Over here, every week counts. So in my program, for instance, every week we are given assignments, discussions, presentations, contributions, and all that. And when you go onto the Canvas learning platform, you can see a breakdown of all these gradings, and we are
mm,
giving quizzes as well.
okay.
So in week one, when you do your assignments, beginning of week two, the lecturer grades it and you see your grade. And you should know
Mm,
that it's a cumulative thing. So it's more of your fate before the
mm,
semester even ends. So as at
yeah.
now, I know my current academic standing because I can see the accumulation of the grades I've gotten from week one. We are currently in week 10. So
Okay.
from week one to week 10, I can see my current grade. That's based on the assignments I've done from week one.
Mm,
And Also, the grading system here is much higher than back in Ghana. In the University of Ghana, A was from 80 to 100, but here it's 90 to 100.
90
And
to
B,
100.
yes, 90 to 100 makes an
Okay.
A. And then 80 to 89 makes a B. So, like, yeah, the grading system here is different.
I saw a grading system, and then let me be frank, my heart was broken. So I saw the grading system, and then I realized that 59 is an F, and 93 to 100 is an A. Then I was asking myself, so I'm able to write like exam and get 59. You are giving me an F. Like how? How is that possible? I mean, but I believe that the whole, because it's not a sit down exam to answer all the questions at the go. So nobody, well, from what I have seen so far and have read, spoken with some friends, and as you are sharing, nobody sits in this environment and writes 100% exams. Even for 70 is not possible. But there are weekly assignments, 10 marks, 5 marks, 10 marks, 5 marks. Yes, some of them, the accumulation can be more than 100, but we still strike the average 100. So
Oh, yes.
that is
Yes.
a whole different environment issues. Yeah. So again, what will you say when it comes to the kind of confidence you've seen here among students? You know how back in Ghana, interacting with faculty, you are even scared to talk with faculty. And here, how is it? How is the open? How is the confidence students have built along the line of their studies?
So one thing I can say is that the students over here are very confident because their upbringing allows them to express themselves. Their upbringing allows them to be audible, to voice out their concerns. And over here, a lecturer will not ostracize you because you've asked a question that he or she is not pleased with. You
Yeah.
don't find the lecturer insulting you in class or maybe bringing you down, saying you're a dullard or you're not intelligent or anything. No, you don't see that thing over here. So the students are not scared to, express their concerns to their lecturers. Over here, you grade students and then they send you emails asking for justification of why they got that grade,
Yeah.
asking why they got that grade or explaining to them why you gave them that grade. So the students here are very, very confident.
Great, great. I mean, it's just about, sometimes it's just about our culture and how we're brought up, because it's difficult to sometimes question certain things in our environment. I mean, you just have to take it like that. And also, how it is seen, the lecturer knows all, like kind of lecturer knows all. You have no knowledge, and you have to come to class for the lecturer to give you what knowledge he or she is having. Yeah, but I think it's different, but the resilience we have built so far can actually make us combat the system and become better. Yeah, so those who are following, I can see we have about 20 people watching live on YouTube. We'll be wrapping up in the next 5 to 7 minutes. Just drop your questions. If you have any question for Sarah, just drop it in the comment section, and Sarah will do justice to that. Yeah, so Sarah, in general, any advice to our fellow students and our colleagues? Any advice to them?
Okay, so one advice I can give is that if you are currently in a position where maybe you end up having to look up to your mentor, go on errands for the person. Sometimes you may feel like you are being stressed out. Oh, this lecturer is stressing me. Or maybe you are working for somebody. It's not only within the academic setting, but also in your workplace. Oh, this supervisor is stressing me. This supervisor likes to step me. This supervisor, please just bear with it. Just be resilient because you don't know where that may end up helping you in future.
Yeah.
Yes, because one important thing when it comes to applying to US schools and getting scholarships, one very, very important thing is your recommendations.
Okay.
And in order to get those recommendations, in order to get a solid recommendation, you should have, you know, some way, somehow contributed to the personal development of whoever is writing your recommendation for you. It
Yeah.
shouldn't just be a general recommendation that the admissions committee or the scholarship committee has seen all over and all over again. There should be something distinct about you. There should be some features that are distinct about you. So whatever the case may be, whatever you're going to study hard, be respectful, be humble, because all those values will end up, taking you a long way. Humble yourselves. Like it's very, very, very important because it will take you far. That's all
Okay.
I can say.
Yeah, great. So I have some two questions here for you. So someone is asking, how are you coping with the weather? No, no, he said no. Why? How are you coping with the white over there? Okay, yeah. So maybe how is your
Okay.
relationship with your colleagues? I mean, who are Americans? Yeah.
Okay, they are very open, you know, and one thing I've noticed is that they like engaging in conversation a lot. So it's not just about, hey, hi, how are you? And that's it. No, they actually engage in a lot of conversation. They would want to know about your home country, because some of them have not traveled outside the states before. So they ask you a lot of questions, and then sometimes they ask comparative questions that between the United States and where you're coming from and all that. So I think they are really open and friendly.
Great.
Yeah.
So, a friend mentioned to me that so she wrote an email to a potential advisor in the US. And then when they met on Zoom, then the advisor asked that, oh, where are you coming from? Then she said Ghana. I said, me, Ghana? Ghana? Where is Ghana? I mean, yeah, so the same way we are in Ghana or we come from Ghana and we don't know certain parts of the world. That's, I mean, just take it that people over here or elsewhere might also not know where you are coming from. And that is a fact. I mean, yeah, so you don't feel timid because somebody doesn't know that you're from Ghana or doesn't know Ghana. Yeah. Then someone is also asking, um, yeah, good. Super are congratulating you. I mean, Vera is telling you all the best. Yeah.
Thank you, Mary.
Yeah. Yeah, so someone is asking that, yeah, it's a great responses you are giving to the questions. I would like to know if there are opportunities for those of us interested in coming to learn in the US. Yeah, yeah, you can respond to that, Sarah.
Okay, so one thing I can say is that if you have a LinkedIn platform, make use of it very well. LinkedIn is a very, very good and helpful platform when it comes to applications and all that because you can actually send these lecturers and professors messages if you're interested in, they being your supervisor for research, and all that. So one thing I can say is that over here they really like research interests. So try and find a research interest and go on to LinkedIn. Look for professors or lecturers here in the States whose research interests align with yours, and you begin from there. You start reaching out to them and all that, telling them that you're interested in applying to the schools in which they teach, and then you can move on from there. So when you get to level 400 and then they tell you long essay or no long essay, I know a lot of students run away from long essay, but I would say it's been something that has helped me massively. Me taking the decision to do a long essay is one of the major reasons why I am here today. So please don't be running away from the long essay.
Yeah, great. So it's very. Someone is asking, yeah. So in this, how can they get through? So I think that the whole issue about applying for schools outside, it should be made clear to most of us that it's not easy. It's not an easy journey, because that same school you are interested in, 1,001 students also across the world are also applying for that. So you really have to position yourself well in terms of your SOP. Probably maybe one of our conversation live on YouTube, I can bring some people on board to share issue about how to write SOP. Also in the line of learning, I mean, yeah, how to write SOP also. So those are very important things. And someone is asking, um, yeah, are they racist? Oh, yeah. So maybe you can share about where you stay. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm currently in Auburn, in Alabama. So the state I'm in is Alabama, but the city I'm in is Auburn. And Auburn is highly concentrated with whites, but so far they've been nothing but friendly. They
Okay.
have this Southern hospitality. I don't know, Ameko, you've heard of this Southern hospitality thing. The fact that the Americans in the South are more hospitable than those in the North. You know, the
Yeah.
North, everyone minds their business. Even if you are stranded, they don't mind, they don't care. I don't know. But here
Yeah.
in the South, it's different. They have
Okay.
this like interconnected community and all that. So they've been very nice. Yeah.
Great. So someone is asking that what should you consider in choosing a course in the US? I don't think there's one direct answer to that. But
Yes, yes.
what I can share of head is that, I mean, you know what you want to do. So first of all, you have to look for schools that are offering your course. And that is not all. One thing I have seen across most of the schools in America is that you can get one particular school doing a course like public administration, but when you go to see the course content, it doesn't match up with what you are doing in Ghana, what you are interested in. So they do more specialization. So you actually have to go to the various programs and find out what are they doing. And even if they are doing the same course, what details, like what is the specialization area? And like politics, like political science. I mean, you can't come from Ghana to America to come and study political science, and you are thinking to hear things like about Ghana, about Kwame Nkrumah. No, I mean Akufo-Addo, Bawumia, and no. I mean that is American politics you are coming to study. So that is a different area. So if you think that okay, you are interested in political science, and you think you come here and study the same things that you will learn, yes, you might hear some Aristotle, you might hear some Henry Fayo, you might hear some common names, yeah, I mean, kind of theories and philosophers. But the whole idea about the political studies might not be the same to what we study in Ghana because these are jurisdiction, different areas. So if you're in America, you are studying the politics of Ghana, what are you going to apply it to do here? But you might
Yeah.
also study maybe international politics. I mean, international relations. Those are general things. So I want to recommend that you go to the school's website, find the various things that are there, what they do, and then if a faculty member is their special areas, special interest areas align with yours, then you can now go ahead to start thinking of putting your document together and writing to them. Yeah. So Sarah, probably you can share something on that as well as we are wrapping up.
Yeah, so I mean, you've literally said everything that is there about this whole specialization in course and selection and all that. So for me personally, I came to do a master of public administration, obviously because I have a background in that, and it's a field that I'm very comfortable in, and
Okay.
have a lot of knowledge in. So that was why I delved, directly into this. But there are some that wish to switch their specializations or their programs, and they may be due to like personal reasons known to themselves. Yeah, so someone may feel, oh, I want to go into industry, so I want to do an MBA, or I want to run a business, so I want to go into an MBA. Like, it's all up to the person.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you are also right about the fact that there are specializations, and you can have a program, but the specializations are different. So with regards to me not knowing how many classmates I had, was because even within the Master of Public Administration program, we have about 6 or 7 specializations, and your electives will be based on the specialization that you are going for. So that's the thing.
Yeah, great. So, thank you so much, Sarah, for coming
Welcome.
on Dela-Connect. It's a good opportunity. I mean, to have you here to share with us some of your experiences with learning and also the different environment. We are open to host you again on any subject that we think that you can help our viewers to learn from. And to our viewers, don't forget you have to subscribe to Dela-Connect. Share the link. The recording is there on YouTube. Share with people to listen to. And in the coming days, we're going to come your way with a lot of interesting insight into learning. Our main goal is how to make learning easy and better for everyone. I mean, it is said that the Ashantis, when they travel to America or they travel outside Ghana, during Easter, I think Easter or Christmas, they'll come back to Ghana and pick one person there. The next year, the two will come back and pick, I mean, they'll be picking, yeah, kind of. So the whole idea is that if I know how to learn and I'm able to master my experience with learning, and I think that is the best way, why wouldn't I share with you? I mean, it's good to share. And there's no harm in sharing. It says sharing is caring. So we are here to bring on board a lot of people to help us make life better. So thank you so much, Sarah. If you want to send some shout out to some people,
You're
I can.
welcome.
Yeah, I can see Vera. Vera is already excited because you mentioned her name.
Yes,
Yeah.
at University of Ghana, she taught me in level 300 and 400. She's been very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vera. And who else?
Yeah, so I see a lot of people mention your name. I see Okra that is on your nerves and Vera's nerves, asking about relationship questions. I mean, someone is saying that, hey, maybe you've not been in a relationship before. I mean, yeah, and it's quite interesting. Yeah, I think there's one Emmanuel Amfo as someone also saying that that's a great perspective from what you are discussing. Yeah, so I think yeah. Then also there's Nana Yao Frimpong also saying that I'm proud of her. Yeah, thank you
Thank
all our
you.
viewers.
Thank
Yeah,
you, everybody. Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you so much.
yeah,
And the person who said I haven't been in a relationship before, I have. I didn't say
yeah,
you just have to like balance your relationship academic life. That's what I
yeah.
was saying.
So someone is
Yes.
saying that Sarah must come and pick us. I think so. Yeah, I think it's interesting to have all this coming about. So thank you all. Sarah will come back again. Our viewers, don't forget subscribe, like, and I mean share the video. Let's get it going. Let people learn about this thing because they are very important. Thank you.
Yes.
Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Bye. Nice being on your platform.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, sure.